Good morning dear students. Welcome back to E-Class of Science. It's our fifth chapter and our second part of fifth chapter. We were studying about coal and petroleum products, isn't it? In the last class we have studied that what are the materials we use in daily and which of them are natural resources, and from the natural resources which of them are exhaustible natural resources and inexhaustible natural resources. These all things we have studied in the last class, and now we are going to discuss about the inexhaustible natural resources, and from that coal and petroleum products. We have in the last class we have discussed that the coal, petroleum products, these all things will exhaust one day. That means if we use without any control, these things will exhaust one day. Then for this purpose we have to use it carefully. We don't waste these things. Then for the first we are going to discuss about what are coal. Okay, then coal. You may have seen coal or heard about coal. Have you heard about coal or have you seen the coal? Some of them may seen and some of them may not, but you may have heard the name coal. We know that in the earlier days our trains were running with the help of this coal. Then we were boiling this coal, we are burning this coal, and the energy from that we used to run the trains. Now the trains became electric, isn't it? Then it has a hard as stone in the black in color. It seems to be as hard and seems to be a stone in black color. You can see the picture here. This is the format of the coal. Coal is one of the fuels used to cook food. Some of the days we were used to cook the food with coal. We may heard about the charcoal and burning the barbecues on the above of these all things. These are happening nowadays, trend of nowadays, isn't it? Earlier it was used in railway engines to produce steam to run the engine. That I have already told that in the earlier it was used to produce steam in the steam engine of train to run the train. It is also used in thermal power plants to produce electricity. We know that the electricity is the main energy nowadays we are using, isn't it? Then to produce this electricity we need some natural resources such like water, wind, waves, solar power, or like coals. Then in these things the water, it is not exhaustible. Then sun, it is not exhaustible. Then next one, the wind, it is not exhausted. Then waves, it is not exhausted. Then the other thing, it is coal. It may goes to exhausted one day. That is, they are exhausted things. Then coal is also used as a fuel in various industries. Some of industries also they are using the coal as their thing to make energy. Fuel, it is performing as a fuel. The next one, story of coal. Then how this coal is obtained in nature and what is the coal story. Okay. Then about 300 million years ago the earth had dense forest in low-lying wetlands. What is the meaning of that? In the earlier days there were a huge forest, dense, a thick forest was there, and when in the wetland, that means in the marshy area it was there. Then after this, due to natural process like flooding, these forests go to buried under this soil. What happened to them? This forest, due to some natural process, they got buried under the soil. And after that, after burying, the soil may be putting in up and these things, these forests will go to the underneath of the earth. This underneath of the earth, buried under the soil. As more soil deposited over them, they were compressed. They became to compressed. What do you mean by compressed? Some pressure is given to a thing and they are happening that pressure on them. The temperature also rose as they sank deeper and deeper. As we know that in the innermost core of the earth, it is very hot there. There are lava present in the innermost core of the earth. And the temperature from there is coming to the outer surface. We are not feeling the temperature here because it is so far from us. Then as these forests went into deeper and deeper, the temperature from the inner core have got to this forest. Then under this high pressure and high temperature, dead plants got slowly converted to coal. And what happened to this forest? In the forest there are dead plants, dead animals, these are there, isn't it? Then these dead plants and animals converted to coal with the help of the under high pressure and high temperature. From the under the earth it is coming with the high temperature, and from the top of the earth it is coming from with the high pressure. Due to this coal converted, this dead animals, dead plants is converted to coal. As coal contains mainly carbon, the slow process of conversion of dead vegetations into coal is called carbonization. We know that you have studied in the 7th standard about the photosynthesis and how this photosynthesis happened and what is prepared in the photosynthesis. It is glucose, isn't it? And this glucose main content is what? Only carbon, isn't it? Carbohydrates are present in the plants and animals, and this carbon is changed to coal. This is changed to coal. A coal contains mainly carbon. Slow process of conversion of dead vegetation into coal is called carbonization. What is carbonization? Slow process of conversion of dead vegetation into coal is called carbonization. Then since it was formed from the remains of vegetation, coal is also called as fossil fuel. The fossil fuel. In the beginning of the portion, in the last video we have studied that what is fossil, and then this coal is also one of the fossil fuel. How as the formed from the remaining vegetations, coal is also called as fossil fuel. It is formed from the vegetation, so it is also known as fossil fuel. Then next one, story of coal. It is continuing. When heated in air, coal burns and produces mainly carbon dioxide gas. We know that if a carbon is burning, it will react with oxygen and it will become carbon dioxide gas. And what is it produces? Carbon dioxide is most dangerous, isn't it? Coal is proceeding industry to get some useful products such as coke, coal tar and coal gas. These are the things that are obtained from the coal. This coke is used very well, and coal tar is also used, and coal gas is also used. And how they are prepared and how they are used, then we are going to study. This is the process of mining the coal from the underneath of the earth. You may have heard about these coal refineries are there. Then most of these portions remain in the underneath. The process will going in the underneath of the ground. It is so much depth under the earth, and the peoples were working in that, and they are taking the coal from the underneath of the earth. Then components of coal. First one, coke. Okay, coke. Then how this coke is prepared? It is a tough process and black substance. It is seems to be coal itself, isn't it? It is a tough and black substance. It is almost pure form of carbon. It is the almost pure form of carbon. purely present carbon. Coke is used in the manufacture of steel and in the extraction of many metals. Coke is used in the manufacture of steel. We know that how much steel is important in the day-to-day life. Many of the structures are making with steel. Many of the materials that the automobiles, electric things, these all are made in steel, isn't it? So it is very useful in production of steel. So coal is important. And some extraction of many metals. Extraction, you have studied the displacement reaction and all. Then in that purpose for extracting metals, coke is used. Then coal tar. What is coal tar? When heated in air, coal burns and produces mainly carbon dioxide gas. Then coal is produced in industry to get some useful products such as coal tar and coal gas. About 200 substances. Products obtained from coal tar are used as starting materials for manufacturing various substances used in everyday life. You may heard about the coal tar. This seems to be like this. This is produced from the coal. How this it is produced? When the coal is burned, oxygen, carbon dioxide is formed and coal tar is formed as a liquid form, and this coal tar is used for many uses. These uses are explained here. In industry it is used for making like synthetic dyes. You know dyes. What is dyes? Making colors, isn't it? Drugs, explosives, perfumes, plastics, paints, photographic material, roofing material, etc. These all are very important things, isn't it? Interestingly, naphthalene balls used to repel moths and other insects are also obtained from coal tar. We know that this insecticide is also made with the coal tar. These days, bitumen, a petroleum product, is used in place of coal tar for metaling the roads. We know that our road, we tar the road. We have heard about tar the road, isn't it? Then what is this tar the road? The bitumen is used for this tarring purpose of the road. You may see that the blackish as a molten state, that is present in the molten state, that substance is known as bitumen, and this is resembles with the coal tar. It is similar to coal tar. Coal tar is not so much available, so bitumen is used in the place of coal tar also. The next one, coal gas. What is coal gas? Coal gas is obtained during the process of coal to get coke. When coal is prepared to make coke, the gas produced is coal gas. It is used as a fuel in many industries situated near the coal processing plants. This gas is used as a fuel for many of the industries near those where preparing the coals. Plants near to coal preparation plants, these industries are using this coal gas as their fuel. These days, bitumen, a petroleum product, is used in place of coal tar for metaling the roads. Coal gas was used to street lighting for the first time in London in 1810 and in New York around 1820. Nowadays, it is used as a source of heat rather than light. It is used as a source of heat rather than light. In the ancient times, in 1810 and 1820, it was used as to produce street light in New York and London. Then nowadays it is used to produce heat. We know that the US nations, they are with very cold condition. Cold weather is having there. Their normal temperature is also 14 degree, sometimes 10 degree. Then when it is going to, in the winter season, they will be happening -4 degrees Celsius, -5 degrees Celsius. that much low temperature is happening there. At that places also this coal gas is used for as a heating purpose. We know that coal is something present in the carbon, and carbon dioxide is the gas that absorbs heat energy, and this coal gas is also used as heating purpose because this can absorb heat energy and retain there. As the global warming we have studied earlier, it is performing the same purpose. Okay. Then these are all for today. We have studied what is called story of coal. Then we have studied the components prepared from coal, coke, coal gas and coal tar and their uses. We have discussed all these things. In next class we will be discussing about petroleum products. Thank you and have a nice day.